Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, IGHSAU Fitness, Mackerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing. Jaguar Soccer on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency, 72 Degrees, your comfort company, Sinorama Ankeny, West 40 Market, Rainbow of the Heartland, Prairie Trail Sports Complex, Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital, the Ankeny Real Estate Group, and Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill.
So when an athlete walks into IGHSAU Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching, we have the best technology, we have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
DeArmond certified used vehicles aren't the same as the rest.
Every DeArmond certified vehicle receives a 175-point inspection and comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty, a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and DeArmond Care. Wheel, dent, windshield repair, repel paint and windshield protection, and a full tank of fuel.
Buy with confidence, knowing you made a wise decision with DeArmond Certified.
Find DeArmond certified used vehicles at DeArmondFord.com.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Centennial Digital on the Central Iowa Sports Network, driven by Freedom Tire. Tonight's audio-only presentation is brought to you by Lamberti, Goki, and Lucci Law. Thanks to them for presenting our boys and girls soccer coverage all season long. A community-driven law firm with a passion for giving back. LGL Law is the team to not only fit the legal needs of our community members, but also support the things that make Ankeny a great place to live, work, and play. Today and always, our pregame show is brought to you by Sinorama and Ankeny. Sinorama Ankeny is your full-service sign and graphics company. We design, produce, and install all types of interior and exterior signs, graphics for vehicles, including vehicle wraps, walls, windows, and doors. We also do banners, yard signs, business cards, real estate signs, trade show and exhibit displays, flags, and more. Call us at 515-216-1240 or visit www.sinorama.com. sport-ankeny.com. And I can't talk right now. Tonight, we've got, again, like I said, an audio-only presentation. This is Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union postseason action here tonight. Region 8, Class A Region 8 regional semifinals, and Iowa City West, the Trojans, are in town here on the north side on just a beautiful evening on the north side of Ankeny. Running our board tonight, Austin Oliver with the play-by-play, as we've got a full night of action here on Centennial Digital. We are streaming softball, their home opener, over at the softball complex, which we can see from the field right here, the soccer field, and then also streaming a choir concert tonight on Centennial Digital on our Facebook page. So all sorts of things to keep you entertained tonight. Iowa City West, the Trojans, come in at 6-10. They come over from, obviously, Iowa City over in Johnson County. A couple hours away down I-80. Ankeny Centennial running the gauntlet this year through the CIML. They are 8-6-1 on the season. Their one tie was to crosstown rivals Ankeny. Never were able to finish that one out because the weather was just really, really rough that evening. So we are a couple minutes away right now from hitting our starting lineups. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back with Austin Oliver right after this on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses: Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
Good evening, it's Austin Oliver. About 45 seconds left to go here at the North Ankeny Centennial High School pitch. We're in Region 8, the semifinals of the state, on the path to state tournament. Tonight we've got the 6-10 Iowa City West Trojans up against the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. The matchup opposite of this in the bracket is the Bettendorf at 12-1 against Prairie at 10-3. That match is going to be going on simultaneously at Bettendorf High School this evening. We're just going to be waiting a few minutes here as we get ready to get started with the starting lineups, as both teams have entered the field and are getting final instructions from coaches. They're ready to get started with the game tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Centennial High School for today's Varsity Girls Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union Class 3A Region 8 semifinal soccer match between the Trojans of Iowa City West High School and your Centennial Jaguars. We congratulate the teams and coaches playing today. This game provides each of us an opportunity to demonstrate how much we appreciate their efforts and dedication. Together, we can all set the standard for good sportsmanship. Let the players play, the coaches coach, and the referees officiate. Fan expectations are to cheer on your school with positivity and encouragement. For your information tonight, restrooms are located at the south end of the complex. Concessions are open on the northeast corner of the facility, sharing tonight with the softball fans. Now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Iowa City West, junior number 2, Ava Garcia. Sophomore number 4, Paz Martinez. Sophomore number 6, Sophia Ullman. Sophomore number 10, Emma Pothoff. Freshman number 13, Alex Held. Junior number 14, Maya Mozena. Sophomore number 17, Vera Tanos. Junior number 18, Ali Scala. Sophomore number 20, Diana Tavanskia. Junior number 21, Yuning Shao. And And in goal for the Trojans, freshman number 0, Lauren Hynek. Now the starting lineup for your Centennial Jaguars. Senior number 3, Alana Pennington. Junior number 4, Avery Lewis. Junior number 6, Gabby Lawrence. Sophomore number 7, Madison Balashidis. Senior number 9, Ella Hudacek. Sophomore number 10, Olivia Kroska. Senior number 11, Avery Porter. Freshman number 12, Emery Becker. Senior number 21, Katie Compton. Freshman number 23, Evie Boyle. And in goal for the Jaguars, senior number 99, Kate Bergen. Trojans are coached by David Rosenthal with the assistance of Emma Moss, Brianna Montrose, Carlin Morsch. The Jaguars are coached by head coach Chris Allen with the assistance of Peter Rame, Alyssa Amundsen, and Danielle Jackson. Your trainer for tonight, courtesy of Ankeny Doctors of PT Offices, Alyssa Rogge. Today's officials are Horace Mujic, Don Johnson, and Patrick Gordon. At this time, we ask that you please rise.
Jaguar Soccer on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency, 72 Degrees, your comfort company, Sinorama Ankeny, West 40 Market, Rainbow of the Heartland, Prairie Trail Sports Complex, Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital, the Ankeny Real Estate Group, and Cabaret Sports Bar and Grill. Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
Well, just got done with the national anthem. This is Austin Oliver here with Andy Pollock, at least for a few minutes here. I think you're going to go over to the softball.
Softball and do a concert.
Softball and concert. So he's going to be all over the place tonight. So it's going to be a little bit different tonight with the audio only, so bear with me. I haven't done very many of these, but we've got 40 minutes on the clock here. Iowa City West has already taken the field. Going to describe to you, they're going to be in all whites with the Centennial Jaguars being in all blacks. Trojans are going to be moving from left to right in front of us as the Jaguars will be moving from right to left. It is like a beautiful night, as Andy said in the pregame. Just about perfect soccer weather. Semifinal of the sub-state match for Region 8. Jaguars versus Trojans. The ball's in play. Jaguars with first possession of the game. They scroll back to the defensive front to start to shuffle it around the back. have a little bit of a change from the normal starting lineup. Looks like Ava Martin is in street clothes tonight, so Gabby Lawrence has stepped into her spot for the starting lineup. Ball back to the Trojans. Trojans moving through the midfield. Pennington stepping up for some defense. The Jaguars get the ball back. Send it back to the defensive line. Avery Lewis sending the ball into some open space. Porter looking like she's going to get an opportunity to run this one down. She gets first touch on it, trying to get the ball stopped, and does get it stopped, and trying to get around that defender. Sends it back out to the outside. Nobody's really there as Avery Lewis tries to step up, but it's grabbed by one of the Trojans, and they start to bring it up the field. A little bit too strong on the pass. It goes out of bounds on the near side. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. The Trojans coming off of a 9-0 win over Des Moines Lincoln. That was earlier this week, or late last week. I think it was last Thursday. And they're coming in today with a 6-10 record. Ball bouncing back and forth. It's kicked out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans. Nice pass early from Avery Lewis to get it to Porter into some space there. Got an opportunity, but just didn't really materialize into anything. They look to get the ball back to Porter again. Pennington with the ball in the midfield. Number 21 for the Trojans. IGHSAU with a touch. Pennington with a nice steal in the midfield. Sends it outside to Katie Compton on the far side. Compton taking it up, stops on a dime, and sends it back to the defensive line. They start to rotate it around the defensive line, moving from far court to the near side of the pitch. Balashitis decides she's going to take it up and make one of the defenders come up and defend. Ball sent to Gabby Lawrence. She's the one that's replacing Ava Martin in the center forward position for the Jaguars. Emery Becker taking it up. Decides to turn it around and bring it back to the defensive shell. Lewis sends the ball up to Porter. Porter tries to get control of it. Does get control of it. Sends it into the midfield. Nobody really there. IGHSAU with the steal. She's taking it up the field. Tries to feed it into her center forward. And the defensive lineman from the Jaguars sends that back out. Nice pass into IGHSAU. She gets stopped by the goalkeeper for her first action of the night. Bergen steps up right as it enters into the box and defends that well. Ball fed down to the far side. Katie Compton's beat her defender and streaking down the far side. Porter setting up on the other side, passes it over to her, and it's a shot on goal, and it hits right into the goalkeeper. Nice job by Lauren Heineck with the stop, but a great connection between Porter and Compton, or Compton and Porter right there at the doorstep, and they'll want that one back here as we move forward into the game. Hopefully they can make that connection again. Great pass by Compton, putting it right on the foot of Porter. As the Trojans counterattack after the shot on goal. Foul right at midfield by the Jaguars. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. It'll be another number 14 for the Trojans taken at Maya Mozina, a junior defender. Ball almost squeaks through for a nice ball into some space. They've got into some space. It'll be an offsides call. Just barely offside on Compton. with a nice pass from Gabby Lawrence into some space, but Compton was just a little bit offside as the initial pass went off of a defender and then was sent in by Lawrence.
You are watching Jaguar Soccer on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Visit one of our 6 locations for all of your automotive and tire service needs.
Ball cycling around. Balshaitis steps up, sends it back in. Goes out of bounds off the Jaguars. It'll be a throw in for the Trojans. Emery Becker sends it back to Evie Boyle, freshman defender. Boyle to Balashaitis. Balashaitis decided to take her defender on, moves up the field into some open space. He's going to send the ball, tries to get it into Porter, but 14 for the Trojans is able to step up and stop that pass from happening. Ball rolls out of bounds and a throw in for the Jaguars. They take it very quickly. Katie Compton with a good first touch, gets around her defender. Is looking to get the ball back into Pennington, and Pennington ball just kind of dribbles off the edge of one of the defenders. It kind of squirts through there, but doesn't get to Pennington in time. One of the Trojan defenders is able to get a foot on it. A little 50-50 ball between Avery Lewis and number 10, Emma Pothoff. Goes out of bounds, throwing for the Jaguars. Trojans get possession of it, moving up the field. Sophie Ullman with the possession, taking up the field. Stolen by Marie Becker. Becker sends it back to the defensive line. Defensive line sends it all the way back to the goalkeep. Kate Bergen cycles it out and starts moving up the field. About 8 minutes into the game. 0-0 score between the Trojans and the Jaguars. Balashaitis takes possession, starts to move up the field. Sends it to the outside to Avery Lewis. Lewis off of a defender and goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Jaguars. Lewis into Lawrence. Lawrence sends it outside to Porter. Porter gets control, sends it back to Lawrence, and Lawrence sends a ball in. Pennington gets a nice touch, gets the outside. She's dribbling the ball, takes a shot, and it goes in for the first goal of the game. Alana Pennington with the score for the Jaguars. 1-0 for the Jags, 9 minutes into the first half. Alana Pennington with the score. Iowa City Trojans back right into the game here. They kick it back into play again. Compton with the steal pretty quickly here. She takes it up the field, sends it into some open space. And it looks like it's going to be a little bit too strong. It's going to roll out the back of the pitch. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans in the goal.
That goal brings our score, Jaguars 1, Trojans 0.
Once again, that was a score by Elena Pennington at the 9-minute mark of the first half. 1-0 Jaguars. Trojans playing with fire in front of their goal. Made a couple passes right in the front of the goal rather than taking it to the outside and moving up the field. But The Jaguars aren't able to make them pay, but they do get a steal right at midfield, and then it's given right back to the Trojans. Trojans send the ball to the outside. Avery Lewis steps up for a steal. Gets it out to Porter. She's going to continue to make a run. Porter sends it back into Avery Lewis as she tries to track that ball down. A defender's right there to send the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. Really deep in the Trojan defensive line. Porter's going to take the throw-in, and then we're going to bring in Evie Boyle to use some of her throw-in skills here and see if she can put this into a dangerous spot here in the pitch. Boyle puts the ball into play, sends it into the inner box. Pennington gets a head on it, sends it over to Compton, but it's a little bit too strong. Compton has to chase that one down and takes a nice little angle, sends the ball out of bounds off of a Trojan foot. It'll be a first corner kick of the match for the Jaguars. Corner kicks are brought to you by Iowa Rush Soccer Club. Check out all their events going on right now at iowarush.com. And Avery Lewis will be stepping up. The junior defender will be stepping up to take this corner kick. Katie Compton's sneaking over there to maybe take the short corner, but she's marked fairly quickly by Alex Held, a freshman defender. So it looks like they'll be putting the ball into play. She sends that ball in, right onto the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper struggles a little bit to get control of the ball, and then the ball bounces in her favor, and she's able to pick it up. We had Gabby Lawrence was right there trying to get ahead on that ball to trying to get something to happen with that, and just didn't happen. Once again, the Trojans are playing with fire as they set two passes right across the front of the pitch. It's a big no-no. They do get possession, start to run it up the far side of the field, send a ball into some open space. IGHSAU on the ball with two defenders in front of her. It's well defended by the Jaguars, and Olivia Kroska sends it out. Picked up by Alana Pennington, and then she loses possession. Nice battle going on between her and Paz Martinez. Jaguars come up with the ball. And then right back to the Trojans. Pennington with a nice little steal. She sends it out to Porter here on the near side. Porter with some touches as she tries to look for some opportunity. Sends it into Gabby Lawrence. Lawrence's defender sends it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in very, very deep for the Jaguars. Avery Porter sends that into Alana Pennington on the throw-in. She tries to do a heel kick, go back over to Porter, and it goes out of bounds off of the Trojans. It'll be another throw-in for the Jaguars. One of the Iowa Rush ball girls sends the ball right back over to her. Olivia Kroska with a touch. She sends a kind of half-hearted shot from about 25, 30 yards out, and it runs out of bounds, and it'll be going into the free kick for the Trojans. Lauren Heineck, a freshman goalkeeper, will be sending it out back into play. Jaguars are able to take possession in midfield. Lana Pennington with a touch sends it into Porter. Porter in a nice spot here in the midfield, trying to get an idea what she wants to do. Sends it into another shot from distance from Avery Lewis, and she scores for the second goal of the game. Avery Lewis score. 14 minutes into the first half, 2-0 lead for the Jaguars over the Trojans from Iowa City West. Got some subs coming into the game for the Jaguars. Number 2, McKenna Hilton. Number 22, Addison Fair. And number 20, Emily Conger, all entering in the game at various spots. One on offense, one in midfield, and one in defense. 2-0 lead for the Jaguars. 14 minutes into the first half. The second score by Avery Lewis. A nice shot right by the goalkeeper. About 15 yards out. Put that ball away.
Number 20, Emily Conger. And number
Substitutions today's game were brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger, the crew at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. As Porter drives in and sets up a shot by Olivia Kroska, and she sends it to the right of the frame and goes out of bounds. It'll be a free kick for the Jaguars. Or free kick for the Trojans, rather. We want to be sure and welcome our new supporters of Centennial Digital and the Jaguar student athletes, Dr. Brett Renzi at Health First Chiropractic, Springer Floor Care, and your local Ankeny Hy-Vee stores. Free kick taken in for the Trojans, and a single touch by the Jaguars, but sends it right back to the Trojans. Porter steps in, is going to let this ball run out of bounds off of the Trojans. It'll be a throw in for the Jaguars. She quickly sends it in to Madison Fair. Madison Fair with a touch back to Porter. Porter looking for some space. Takes a few steps forwards and then rotates the ball back. They bring it all the way back to the defense, and they're cycling it back through. Balashitis.
Laura here, proud to be the team for all your legal needs. Just a reminder to stick around after the game for the LGL Player of the Game. Go Jags!
Handball off of one of the Jaguar offensive players. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. Ball stolen on the far side by the Jaguars. Madison Fair with a touch pretty far into territory of the Trojans. She sends out to Katie Compton, and the defender steps in front of Katie. Emily Conger steps up with the Compton. She sends it back into Madison Fair, who's got a single step on her defender, and she tries to go across, and just the ball just doesn't get enough of the ball, and it goes out of the back of the pitch. It'll be a throw-in or a free kick for the Trojans.
Number 11, Rachel Shafebow.
Rachel Shafebow, number 11, in for the Trojans. She'll be replacing Ava Garcia, a junior midfielder. Lauren Heineck to put the ball back into play off the free kick. Pennington heads that one down. Madison Fair out to Porter. The defender steps in front of Porter before she gets a chance to get a foot on the ball. Balashitis comes from the defending line and tries to keep that on the Jaguar side, and they do so. Lana Pennington with a nice little step over and sends the ball into some space for Madison Fair. Goes off defender, and Katie Compton from the far side. She's taken down on what the middle referee must say incidental contact. She goes down right before she gets to the ball, and the referee says play on. Madison Fair takes the ball right off of midfielder, goes to Porter or far down the pitch, and the goalkeeper's able to step out and make a save. 18 minutes into the game, 2-0 lead for the Jaguars. McKenna Hilton sends the ball in, trying to connect up with Madison Fair, but it goes a little bit too long, and goalkeeper's able to gobble that ball up and put it back into the play on the free kick. Leave it Kroska with some good defensive work. Missed connection between Gabby Lawrence and Alana Pennington sends the ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans. Balashitis steps up, bounces around. Porter settles the ball down. Tries to send the ball into Madison Fair, but it's knocked down by one of the Trojan defenders. Katie Compton putting some pressure on the defending line. Got a player down. I think she took a shot to the face off of one of the little bounce arounds. It looks like she's got some blood coming down here. That's Olivia Kroska. I'm not sure if it's her mouth or her nose here, but she took a shot right in the face, and so she's going to be getting some treatment from the training staff. Looks like a bloody nose. I thought she took a shot to the face.
Number 12,
Emery Becker, number 12, into the game for Kroska.
Olivia Kroska, injured Jaguar. Looks like she's going to be okay.
Kroska's trying to get herself cleaned up. She's got quite a bit of blood on her hands, and the crowd's cheering her on, trying to get her back in the game here. So she had a smile on her face as she's getting cleaned up here. But she took a shot to the face from one of the balls here. Just trying to get some pressure on that nose to get the bleeding to stop. Meantime, the game here, the ball's bounced back and forth here in midfield. It's gone out of bounds, and it's a throw-in for the Trojans. Nice little connections for the Trojans. Sends the ball into some open space. Evie Boyle steps up and ends that little foray into the offensive zone for the Trojans. She takes the ball and sends it all the way down, trying to connect it with Madison Fair, but one of the defending Trojans is there to knock that ball down, but it does eventually get to Madison. Madison sends the ball back out to Compton, and Compton steps up, beats her defender. Stepping up for the next defender. She's looking to make a move there. Does make a move there. Is looking to get a center here. She beats that defender, and it rolls out of bounds. And it'll be a free kick for the Trojans. Nice little set of moves by Compton. Just wasn't able to get control of that last ball. Trojans take it short. They are playing with fire here. Madison Fair steals the ball right off of the goalkeeper's feet. Takes a shot, and it just dribbles off the edge of the goalkeeper's hand. It just barely misses for a very dangerous ball that the Trojans were playing. I've called that out several times, that they're just playing with fire as they move that ball across the front of the goalkeeper. They take it short once again. Hopefully they take it to the outside, which in this case they do. And then send it back into the midfield there. Jaguars putting up a ton of pressure here. Gabby Lawrence steals the ball and sends it back to Evie Boyle, and Boyle steps up to sends it back to Balashitis. Balashitis with a ton of room. She's going to take that room and see what she can do with it. Tries to send in some open space for Porter. Fair sends it into Porter. Porter's got a lot of room here. She's going to be able to corral that ball right at the end line and take a touch, and it just dribbles off of her toe. She's frustrated with that play as well. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. 22 minutes into the first half. 2-0 lead for the Jaguars. Trojans in that little break flipped the sides of their attacking midfielders. Number 11 and number 10 flipped sides and are opposite sides now. So Rachel Schaafbaugh and Emma Pothoff just switched sides. See if with a little bit of a different look. Gabby Lawrence tries to send a ball in and just goes barely past Alana Pennington. Almost got a touch on that. Would have been a pretty exciting goal for the Jaguars. That was Emily Conger with that send in, actually. Number 20. Colkeep has enough of the short goal, the short put-ins, and she's going to send everybody up the field and launch a ball into play. Pennington with a steal. Gains possession, sends it back to Jaguar mid defenders. Ball back and forth with possession. Jaguars end up getting it corralled and getting it on their feet. Madison Balashidis with a few touches. Sends it over to Evie Boyle. Boyle sends it up to Emery Becker. Emery Becker tries to get it into some open space, but hits one of the defenders as it's trying to get through. Porter's able to track a misplaced pass from one of the Trojans. Sends it back to Gabby Lawrence. Gabby Lawrence surveys the field, gets it into Alana Pennington in the midfield, but it's a little bit too strong. And the Trojans get connect up for possession, but then the Jaguars steal right back. Pennington to Compton. Compton sends it back to McKenna Hilton. McKenna Hilton sends it into the midfield. Avery Lewis with a touch on the far side. She's going to look to get it back to Porter. Porter in an excellent spot. Sends it into Compton, and then Compton's not able to get there before the defender steps up and sends it to the midfield. Jaguars back pressuring again. Emery Becker. Avery Lewis steps up and steals a pass from the Trojans. Keep. Nice save from Lauren Hanek right in front of the goal keep.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Garage Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
A couple substitutions just came into the game. Still a 2-0 lead for the Jaguars. Olivia Kroska back in. Got a nose full of cotton, but she's back in, none the worse for wear. Ball cycled all the way back to Kate Bergen. Bergen sends it over to Boyle. Boyle to Balashidis. Balashidis sends the ball all the way down. Katie Compton's flipped over to the near side here. She's not going to be able to track that one down. Just a little bit too strong for Balashidis, but a great idea. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. Trojans send it short, but it's knocked out of bounds by the Jaguars again. It'll be another free kick for the Trojans. Trojans take it short once again. Start to move the ball up the field. Stolen by number 20, and Madison Fair is trying to track that one down. She does get a touch on it and sends it back into play. Emily Conger with a nice steal. Be a throw-in for the Jaguars on the far side. Lewis to Compton. Kroska to Lewis. Lewis able to stop that one. She's going to get a centering ball in here. Oh, a nice try by Madison Fair. She just settled down right in front of the goal keep and took a nice header and just goes over the top of the bar. A nice little attack between Madison Fair and Gabby Lawrence with a nice little send-in. Looked like a corner kick that she's done all season, this last half of the season, taking most of the corner kicks. The ball put back into play by the goalkeeper for the Trojans. Jaguars get possession almost immediately. Sent out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans. Compton with a nice one-on-one move. Compton to Becker. Becker tries to send it out to connect up with Madison Fair on the far side, but it rolls out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans on the far side. 30th minute of the first half. It's a 2-0 lead for the Jaguars off of goals by Avery Lewis and Alana Pennington. Both beautiful goals to start out for the Jaguars tonight, getting that 2-0 lead for this semifinal for Sub-State in Region 8. Friends, check out the new Zoom Room Dog Training Gym at 1875 North Ankeny Boulevard. We don't train dogs, we train the people who love them at the Zoom Room. Ball sent in here. We'll update the advertisement. Number 11 from the Trojans sent a ball in, but it's easily grabbed up by Bergen, and she sends the ball back into play for Balashitis. Send us a picture of your dog at Jags Digital on Twitter or on our Centennial Digital Facebook page, and each week we will choose a pet of the week to get a special gift from the Zoom Room. Bonus points if they're watching Centennial Digital. Jaguar defense is resigned to just holding on to the ball, making the Trojans step up here and open up the field a little bit, but the Trojans are packing it in and not stepping up, so the Jaguars are just going to waste some time and keep the ball in the back defensive line. They're going to cycle back, making one of the Trojans step up and at least play some defense here, not sit back and park the bus here. Balashitis says, give me the ball and I'll attack this defense. Nice ball sent into Compton. It looks like it's going to be a little bit strong. She looks like she might be able to drag it down, but it just dribbles out of bounds. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. We'll have a couple substitutions. Substitutions in today's game are brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger and the Cruel Heart Ankeny Animal Hospital. Alana Pennington back into the game. She'll be replacing Madison Fair. Madison Fair once again had a great opportunity to header on a center. Just sent it over the very top of the frame, and but was a nice opportunity for a goal for the Jaguars. Trojan free kick, take it short again, send it into the middle. It's a dangerous pass for the Trojans. Once again, they barely get possession of that, and the Jaguars look like they're going to get settled on this one and get possession. Gabby Lawrence with a few touches at the center forward position. Sends it back to McKenna Hilton. Ball sent in to the box. Easy pickup by the goalkeeper for the Trojans, Lauren Heineck. She sends the ball back into play. Lonnie Pennington with a touch. Sends it back to Balashitis. Balashitis looking around. No defender stepping up to her, but she sends it into Emery Becker. Becker with a touch back to Evie Boyle. Back to Becker. Becker takes it upfield, takes on two defenders. Takes the ball sideways, sends the ball down to Compton. Compton looks for Gabby Lawrence, and she gets her legs kind of taken out. Here's the defender goes down, rather. And the Trojans are able to get a steal, but it's summarily stolen right back by the Jaguars. Lana Pennington with a couple touches. Olivia Crosco with a touch back into Pennington, but actually gets up to Gabby Lawrence. Lawrence with a sent to the outside, but it's taken by one of the Trojan defenders. Couple connected passes here for the Trojans, and they send it into some open field. And Katie Compton cycles back, way back, and helping out with some defense here, and is able to get that back to Bergen. Looks like we may have flip-flop Gabby Lawrence or Avery Lewis and Katie Compton from defender to forward. It looks like a little bit of a break in play here, and they're going to flip back over. Avery Lewis was able to make a little bit of an offensive run there, and so Katie Compton had dropped back defensively to pick up the defensive line. Nice ball sent in. Gabby Lawrence trying to track down the pass. The defender sends it into the goalkeep. The goalkeep takes a short pass, and number 17, Vera Tanis. The Trojans string together a couple passes and start to move up to midfield. The ball sent out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. Maya Mosen just didn't connect with anybody up on the pass. Ella Hudacek back into the game, and Avery Porter back into the game. The substitutions tonight are brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger and the crew of Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Once again, a little bit of a different format tonight with the audio only, so we kind of got some growing pains going on. So hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast so far. We've got about the 35th minute here as Avery Porter breaks down in and is going to let a ball roll out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Jaguars.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Avery Lewis with the corner kick. The corner kicks are brought to you by Iowa Rush. Check out all their events going on this summer at iowarush.com. Avery Lewis puts the ball into play. One touch from the Trojans, sends it out, but Avery Porter does a nice little kick over the top of her head, but it's actually defended by another Trojan there and sends it out a little bit further into the offensive zone for the Jags. And Lewis tries to connect up with Porter, but Porter's not there, and it rolls out the back of the pitch. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. See if we can get some updates from the softball game that's going on as well right now. Lana Pennington with a pickup in the midfield. Sends it back to Ella Hudacek. Ella Hudacek tries to connect up with McKenna Hilton in the front field. It goes out of bounds off of a Trojan. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. Pennington with the touch. She'll send it back to Balashitis. Balashitis will send it around. Her and Evie Boyle have flip sides on the in the center back rotation. They get it over to Avery Lewis. Avery Lewis looks for an opening and starts to move up the field. Tries to connect up with Porter, and it's a little bit too strong on a roll out of bounds. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans at the goalkeep. Trojans playing in fire once again, sending the ball and passes across the midfield right in front of their goalkeep. Avery Porter is just like a shark out there trying to get a touch on one of these balls, and the Jaguars actually do get Olivia Kroska with a touch there, and it just goes barely off of her foot and sends it back to a Trojan defender. They connect up and start to move it up the field. Emma Pothoff with a touch, and then it's stolen and possession regained by the Jaguars. Hilton tries to send it in to Porter with a step up right in front of the goal, and she easily puts that ball away, and it is not. It is a offside call. So the far side AR is standing right on the line where Porter was at, and it just must have been just slightly offsides, but it was an easy goal with a nice pass, and offside called on the Jaguars. We'll keep it at a 2-0 clip here with just about 38 minutes into this first half, about 2 minutes left to go here. Jaguars starting. Charles still trying to put some pressure on, trying to get another shot on goal here before we end the half. McKenna Hilton working hard at the far side. Cash, you doing a halftime show? Yep. So we'll bring up Cash for the halftime show as we have 1 minute left to go in regulation. Hopefully we'll get some scores here from the softball game and maybe a matchup on the other side of the bracket between Bettendorf and Prairie. Ball kind of bouncing back with possession here between both the Jaguars and the Trojans. Trojans trying to keep possession here as the last 30 seconds of the first half trickles down. Ball cycled back to the Trojan defensive line. Balashitis is moving around a little bit. Takes it back to Boyle. Boyle steps up. Send it back out to Avery Lewis. Avery Lewis is going to stand on the ball here for the last 10 seconds of the first half. They send it back to Kate Bergen. And Bergen will be the last touch for the half.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's the end of the first half. It's a 2-0 lead for the Jaguars over the Iowa City West Trojans. We'll be back in a few minutes with our halftime show.
At halftime, score is Jaguars 2, Trojans 0. Winner of this game.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
Everything we do is here to benefit the client. Every decision that's needed to be made, the first question you should ask is, does this benefit the client, and is this the best thing for the client?
Our goal is to make a difference. We have the tools, resources, training, and leadership to make a difference in our agents' lives and their careers. And then they can then take that to make a difference in their clients' lives and ultimately make a difference in our communities.
We are available basically 24/7 to make sure that our agents are getting the support they need to look like $1 million in front of their clients.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Jarash Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching. We have the best technology. We have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Mackerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
Welcome back to the Hy-Vee Halftime Report, brought to you by your Ankeny Hy-Vees. Come check us out. Come check out the helpful smiles. Well, welcome back to the halftime show. Cash Van Bali here with you, doing a little bit of the extra stuff, commercials and stuff tonight, and coming back from student takeover a couple weeks ago. Centennial looking really great, looking good in this one, especially strong right away, 2-0 lead. Centennial here is hopefully trying to move on to go play Bettendorf and Prairie. But over in Bettendorf, Prairie is currently losing 6-0 to Bettendorf. Bettendorf at home and obviously feeling the home energy. Well, let's take a look everywhere around the CIML to check out a couple other scores. The earliest score here to check out, the Johnston and Indianola game started at 4 p.m., a little early, over at Johnston, and Johnston took the win 7-0. This was a Regional 3 semifinal for the Johnston Dragons in Indianola. Going over to the Regional 2 semifinal, Council Bluffs Lincoln and Des Moines Roosevelt. Again, Centennial did beat them in the Crosstown Invitational. Again, they did play them last year in state, and Centennial did beat them. But Seaball versus Roosevelt. Roosevelt is losing here, and Seaball's winning 2-0. Only 32 minutes left in the first. Muscatine is next. Muscatine and Cedar Rapids Kennedy over at Muscatine Soccer Complex. Regional 5, Muscatine currently up 1-0. First half, only 21:35 left. It looks like Centennial's the second fastest game here tonight. Well, let's look around here, as again, like I did tell you a little bit earlier ago, we did have the Prairie Hawks and the Bettendorf Bulldogs. They were playing, and this will be determined. Whoever goes to the next to possibly move on to state goes on to the final round here in the regional and goes on to state after that. Bettendorf Bulldogs 12-3, Prairie Hawks 10-3. Prairie Hawks supposedly were going to win this one, but Bettendorf at home, feeling the home energy, like I said, is ahead here 6-0. Going over to look at some softball scores. My bad. Going back to soccer here, looking at the bracket for Johnston. Looks like Indianola played at home for the first game a week ago. Indianola won against Marshalltown 2-0, and then Johnston beat Indianola tonight. But as well as the game tonight is Mason City versus Des Moines North. Des Moines North is 10-4, and Mason City is 15-2. winner of that game started at 7 o'clock. Winner of that game will be going to play Johnston 12-4 in 2 days. This will be the regional championship to go to state. Whoever wins that will end up going to state. As well as for Centennial Jaguars, the exact same way. Bettendorf and Prairie, whoever wins that will be going to the regional, and then whoever wins that will be going to state. Well, looking over at other Centennial sports, Centennial baseball going a little bit crazy this year, and most definitely one player we do want to shout out is Joey Oki. And he's looking pretty well here. Amazing night. He already has 2 wins on the season. Only a junior, so he'll be back next year as well. Centennial softball. Centennial is in second. Ankeny's leading that one, and we've got a Lauren Gus, 1 win. The senior. Alrighty, guys, we'll head to a commercial break here, and we'll be right back with more action on Centennial Digital, brought to you by Freedom Tire.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
Well, we got both teams back out on the field for the second half. It's a 2-0 lead for the Jaguars off of goals by Alana Pennington and Avery Lewis. Both the field teams are back out on the field here, getting ready for that second half.
And please welcome back the Trojans.
I just want to talk real quickly about that other side of the bracket for the Jaguars. It's that Bettendorf Prairie game that Cash talked about at the halftime. 6-0 lead for the Bettendorf team. Looks like they're well in control of that match, which should be about at halftime right now. Maybe Cash can get us an update on that score as well as we move forward. But both teams are out on the field for the second half. The Trojans will be in the white, going from right to left, and the Jaguars in all blacks going left to right. "40 minutes are on the clock, and the mid-ref looks like he's ready to put the ball into play. And the ball's back in play. The second half has started. 2-0 lead for the Jaguars.
Jaguars 2, Trojans 0. I'm going to take this time to give a big thank you to all of our ball girls and boys. Thank you for keeping our game moving very fast and efficient.
Ball sent out of bounds right off of the get-go. It'll be off of the Jaguars. It'll be a throw-in by the Trojans. Trojans do get the ball into the midfield and almost get a ball over the back of the defense, but McKenna Hilton's there to step up and knock that ball out of play. Got some different people starting the second half here. Got Madison Fair, number 22, or Addison Fair, number 22. Starting the game, it'll be started off with a offsides call on the far side by Avery Porter. Into the first half for that Bettendorf Bulldog Prairie Hawks game. It is a 6-0 at halftime. Bettendorf on top. So if scores stay exactly the way they stay right now, it'll be a Jaguar Bulldog showdown on Thursday here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Will be a full show on that day, not just the audio like we're doing tonight. So looking forward to that. as the path to defending state champion Centennial Jaguars starts tonight and ends on Thursday for a hopeful berth to the state tournament. Jaguars connecting a few passes, trying to get in some open space. They try to send a ball into Porter. Porter's going to get a one touch on that, but it looks like it's going to go off of a Trojan defender. I'm not sure if we're going to have a free kick or a corner. Looks like we're going to have a free kick for the Trojans. Trojans send the ball into play, and it abruptly goes out of bounds for them. It'll be a quick throw in for the Jaguars. Avery Porter is going to drop the ball and let the backside defender take the throw in as she moves up the field slightly. Balashida steps up looking for some space and does get some space and tries to send it over to Katie Compton on the far side. She does get a touch on it, but is not able to control it enough, and a Trojan defender is right there as she kind of just floats past. As she stops the ball, the Trojan defender sends it out of bounds. It'll be a throw for the Jaguars. McKenna Hilton sends the ball in. Addison Fair tries to get some touches on it. She's fighting with one of the Trojan defenders, and the Trojan defender ends up winning and sends the ball out to the midfield. Trojans string together a couple passes and then end up losing the ball to Avery Lewis. She's going to look to connect with Avery Porter, and Porter with some nice space tries to do a cross and sends it off the feet of a Trojan defender. Goes out of bounds very deep in the Trojan defending zone here. The Jaguars will have a throw-in. Jaguars throw it in. Connects up with Emery Becker. Becker sends it back to Olivia Kroska. Kroska heads it forward. Addison Fair settles the ball down, tries to get into Compton. And it was going to be an offsides, even if Compton would have got a touch on the ball. But the ball does go out harmlessly out the back of the pitch. And the free kick is taken by the Trojan goalkeeper. Lauren Heineck sends the ball in. And the ball bounces off of a Trojan player and goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. Hilton connects up with Evie Boyle, and Boyle back to Balashidis. Balashidis back to Boyle. Boyle sends it into Kroska. Kroska sends it to Hilton, and Hilton sends it into Fair. And the ball is stolen by the Trojans. They send it up to midfield on a long kick. Settled down by number 11 for the Trojans, Shafebo. And then she loses possession, and Jaguars start to move back up the field again. Nice pass into Addison Fair. She settles it right in the midfield and tries to get it back off to Katie Compton, but a foot of a Trojan stops that ball. Balashidis sends the ball off of a header back into the midfield again. Kroska with a touch to Fair. Fair to Compton, and just barely goes off to Compton's foot, but Compton's fighting hard with that defender, and it goes out of bounds for a free kick for the Trojans.
You are watching Jaguar Soccer on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. Visit one of our 6 locations for all of your automotive and tire service needs.
Actually be a corner kick for Avery Lewis. The corner kicks are brought to you by Iowa Rush Soccer Club. Check out their website at iowarush.com for their events for the summer. Lewis puts it in short to Hilton, and Hilton back to Lewis, and the ball takes a weird bounce and has some spin and comes right back to the Trojan offensive player, and she tries to take it out on the field, and it'll be off of the Trojans. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars right at midfield. Sends it over to Pennington, and Pennington with a nice off touch goes right past the stretched out arms of the goalkeeper from the Trojans, and she scores. Alana Pennington with the second goal of the night, the third goal for the Jaguars. 3-0 lead for the Jaguars at 7 minutes into the second half. 47th minute of the match. Jaguars score.
Jaguar goal is good by number 3, Lana Pennington.
Lana Pennington with her second goal of the match. The
Jaguars 3.
Trojans send the ball back into play. Bouncing around midfield, the Jaguars end up stealing the ball. Porter gets a nice touch, sends it down to some open space for herself. A Trojan defender is able to kick that ball out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. Evie Boyle goes all the way across the field from her defending position to be able to take this throw-in using her strong arms for the throw-in. She throws the ball back into play, puts it into the box. Liva Kroska tries to step up. Katie Compton with almost a one-touch swinger on that one, but defenders are able to get in there, and Addison Fair ends up controlling the ball. It goes off of a Trojan defender. It'll be a corner kick for the Jaguars. Avery Lewis sending herself over to the far side to take the corner kick. Corner kick tonight's are brought to you by Iowa Rush Soccer Club. Check out all their events going on right now at iowarush.com. Avery Lewis sets up for the corner kick. Porter sends over for a short, but it looks like she's going to be covered. Lewis will send it in. A nice strong kick. Nobody's there to connect on the backside except for number 10 from the Trojans, as she'll send it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in, very deep in the territory here of the Trojans. Evie Boyle's going to come across the field once again and set up to take that throw-in. Hopefully she could put this into a dangerous spot with her strong throw-ins. 8 minutes into the second half, 3-0 lead for the Jaguars. Boyle steps up. She tosses the ball, sends it into the box. Katie Compton tries to put a head on it. Porter just misses a header as well. And the ball trickles in off of a half-hearted shot, and Compton controls the ball. She's able to defend it and get the corner kick for the Jaguars. A back-to-back corners for the Jaguars. Avery Lewis stepping up once again for the second corner kick.
Avery Lewis.
Once again, Iowa Rush bringing you those corner kicks tonight. iowarush.com. for all their summer events. Lewis setting up for the corner kick. She puts it into play. Nice ball right on the goalkeep. Goalkeep gets their hands on it. Pennington settles it down and bounces around a little bit. The Trojans are able to control it and send it out to the midfield, where Evie Boyle sends it right back into Kroska, and Kroska into Madison Fair. Madison Fair with an open right in front of the goalkeep, but she is offsides. Nice little turn of connection of passes there, but Addison Fair just a little bit too strong and in a little bit of a too good of a position. As the Trojans put a ball back into play and sends it kind of over a couple defenders, and Evie Boyle steps up and says, "Not tonight," and sends the ball back to midfield. A promising little pass for the Trojans. The door was shut by Evie Boyle as she steps up and sends that ball back to the Jaguar possession. Cycling the ball across the defensive front for the Jaguars. Hilton sends the ball off of one of the Trojan offensive players. That should be a throw for the Jaguars. Yeah.
And for the Jaguars, number 6, Gabby Lawrence.
Gabby Lawrence back into the game, replacing Addison Fair at the middle forward position. Substitutions in today's game are brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger and the crew of Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Ball sent in, kind of mishandled by the goalkeeper. She barely gets a hold of it at the right at the goal line. As the Trojans put the ball back into play. It's parents and grandparents. Check out Rainbow of Heartland and Grimes for the best in swing sets, basketball hoops, courts, and trampolines. They also offer commercial playgrounds and have been Iowa's playground superstore for 25 years. Call 1-800-RAINBOW or visit rainbowoftheheartland.com. Ball cycling all the way back to the defensive line for the Jaguars. And then all the way back to Bergen in goalkeep as she gets her first action of the second half. 11 minutes into the second half. Pass up to Gabby Lawrence. Gabby Lawrence tries to send it to the outside to Pennington. Pennington's playing on the outside, moving Porter to the inside. Pennington trying to take on her defender. She gets it out to Gabby Lawrence. It's a little bit too strong, but Gabby Lawrence gets the ball back, and a little bit of a scrum there right on the ball. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans as the ball rolls out of the back of the pitch off of Gabby Lawrence. Free kick for the Trojans. They take it short. Connect a couple passes, get up to about midfield of their offensive zone. Avery Porter's being a pest for the outside midfielder for the Trojans. They do get the pass off and move it up the field a little bit more. Avery Lewis steps in and loses possession and tries to send it upfield, and McKenna Hilton controls the ball, sends it to Kroska, and Kroska sends it back to Balashitis. The pass a little bit off kilter, and it goes to the Trojans. They're trying to get something set up here. They put a ball partially on goal, but Bergens watches it all the way and ends up hitting the side of the goalkeep. Not a very strong shot, but Bergen in a perfect position to be able to take a real good look at that as it rolls out of bounds as she gets the free kick. 13 minutes into the second half, 3-0 lead for the Jaguars over the Trojans. Bergen takes the ball short to Boyle. Boyle to Hilton, and Hilton takes it off of her foot and it dribbles out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans. IGHSAU with a touch, and it goes out of bounds off of the Trojans. It'll be a throw-in back away for the Jaguars. Evie Boyle taking the throw-in. She runs and throws that ball long ways. Gabby Lawrence with a nice one touch to settle it right in front of her. She looks to connect up with Pennington. Pennington to number 12 for the Jaguars, Becker. Becker sends it out to Porter. Porter's got a ton of room on the far side. She makes a move into the inside. Tries to get to connect up with Lawrence, but Lawrence just wasn't moving quickly enough and is not able to get on the end of the pass, and it rolls aimlessly to the goalkeep as she puts it back into play. Strong kick from the goalkeep from the Trojans right into midfield. Ball sent out of bounds by the Trojans. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars right at midfield. Boyle sends the ball back into some open space. Compton's able to put her foot on it. Tries to connect up with Pennington. Just a pass a little bit behind her, and the defender's able to send it into midfield, but it's stolen once again by McKenna Hilton. She's got some space and is attacking across the field. Sends it into the middle. Connected up with Pennington. Pennington takes it off the head to the ground. Got some dangerous spots here as Porter and Pennington are right over the top of the ball, but they're able to get it out of a little bit of trouble. Becker does take some possession and runs it down to the end line, then sends it back out to Avery Lewis on the far side defending. Becker still down pretty deep, and looks like it's going to go off of a Trojan. It'll be a corner kick won by Emery Becker on the baseline. Corner kick for the Jaguars.
Number 4, Avery Lewis. And entering the game, number 5, Kerrigan Miller.
Kerrigan Miller, number 5, entering the game for the first time tonight. It's going to be coming in for Avery Porter on the far side. Corner kick, Avery Lewis stepping up as we're waiting for Porter to get off, and she goes ahead and takes that ball, sends it into, I was going to say, we still have another player on the field. So we're waiting for Avery Porter to get off the field here. They inadvertently took that a little bit early. So Avery Lewis will reset that. 16 minutes here into the second half, and the 56th minute for the match. 3-0 lead for the Jaguars. Avery Lewis steps up to take the corner kick. She puts the ball into play. Ball's bouncing around. It's corralled by one of the Trojan defenders. And the Trojans are under counterattack. IGHSAU tries to get the ball upfield, but the Jaguars run that ball down. They send it in on a pass, but it is a offsides call on Gabby Lawrence as she was a little bit too excited to get into the offensive zone.
Laura here, proud to be the team for all your legal needs. Just a reminder to stick around after the game for the LGL Player of the Game. Go Jags!
Back to action here. Couple passes back and forth for the Trojans, trying to get some possession. 50-50 ball is corralled by IGHSAU, and then Balashitis is able to step up and send that ball out to the side, but it is sent out of bounds. It'll be off of the Jaguars. Be a throw-in for the Trojans. About 40 yards out of the goal. Number 13 for the Trojans, Alex Held, freshman defender, sends the ball in. Connects up with number 2, Ava Garcia. And Garcia gives the ball up, and Jaguars are on the offense again. Nice set of middle defending there for the Trojans, but an offside call on the Trojans as IGHSAU came from the offside position to the onside position, but nobody else touched the ball in the meantime, and so she was declared offsides. It'll be a free kick for the Jaguars. Madison Balashitis stepping up to take the free kick. Connects up with Pennington. Pennington trying to send the ball down into Kerrigan Miller. Miller with her first touches of the game. She's able to pull the ball right from underneath one of the defenders. Pennington sends a long ball high, but it's headed out of danger by the Trojans. And then ran down by Emery Becker. Emery Becker pulls the ball back to Avery Lewis. Avery Lewis back to Balashitis. Balashitis with some open space starts to step up, sends the ball to Gabby Lawrence. Lawrence has the ball taken off of her foot and sent over to the Trojans. Trojans are in a counter attack. It's going to be like a 3-on-1 here for the Trojans, trying to send the ball all the way across the field, trying to connect up with number 10, Emma Pothoff. Pothoff sends it back to Sean, and a strike, and another strike, and it's defended by Evie Boyle on both shots. Neither one of them got to Bergen at all because Boyle was right in front of IGHSAU with a couple shots really, really close to the goal keep.
Maybe next year you guys can practice that.
Evie Boyle with a nice job of defending there right in front of the goal keep. It's a throw-in for the Trojans. They have another shot on goal, but Bergen's right there to be able to gobble that ball up. She bounces it out, trying to decide where she's going to put it into play next. The best 2 shots of the match is for the Trojans, just ended up happening there for IGHSAU. Jaguars taking it quickly down the field. Pennington beats her defenders, looking to beat the next defender, sends it into the middle to Gabby Lawrence. Lawrence is looking to settle that ball down. Nice job by number 18 from the Trojans, Ali Scala, one of the captains, a midfielder. Looks like she's a middle back there. Did a nice job of defending Lawrence pretty well there. Evie Boyle's coming all across the field to be able to take this throw in. In the 60th minute of the game, it's a 3-0 lead for the Jaguars. She sends the ball in, headed out of there by the Trojans. Possession gained back by the Jaguars. Kroska sends the ball in. It looks like it might be, I don't know what he called there. Be a free drop for the Trojans. Not sure what the call was there. Want to be sure and welcome our newest sponsors of Centennial Digital and the Jaguar student athletes. Dr. Brett Renzi at Health First Chiropractic, Springer Floor Care in your local Ankeny Hy-Vee stores. Jaguars bring it up. Get a ball back out to Miller. Miller, a few touches, sends it back into Emery Becker. Becker to Kroska, then Kroska back out to Miller. Miller is just a little bit too late to get to the ball. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans. Got a couple of substitutions waiting for the Jaguars, but they'll have to wait till the Jaguars are on the offensive play to be able to get those substitutions in. So they'll wait until the ball goes out of bounds and Jaguars have possession to get those in, and it's Addison Fair and Emily Conger waiting to come back into the game. Emery Becker tries to connect up with Kerrigan Miller. It's just going to be a little bit too strong for Miller, and it's going to roll out the back of the pitch. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans. Referee goes ahead and calls on those substitutions. Substitutions in today's game are brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger and the crew at Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. Friends, check out the new Zoom Room Dog Training Gym at 1875 North Ankeny Boulevard. We don't train dogs, we train the people that love them at the Zoom Room. Send us a pic of your dog at Jags Digital on Twitter or on our Centennial Digital Facebook page. And each week we'll choose a pet of the week to get a special gift from the Zoom Room. Bonus points if they're watching Centennial Digital. Trojans connect a couple passes up through the midfield, but have a failure to connect on the last one. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars. 22 minutes into the second half, and the 62nd minute of the game. It's a 3-0 lead for the Jaguars. Had to do my math in my head there, Cash. I was starting to forget where we were at here. Once again, I want to thank Cash for his help tonight. As Addison Fair steals the ball at the midfield and sends it into some open space, but nobody's there. And it's picked up by the goalkeep. Lauren Heineck with the pickup and sends the ball back into play. But thank Cash for his halftime show and his producing of the show today. Appreciate him helping out as Andy's able to go do the softball game, and I think some kind of a concert tonight for choir. So it's good to see Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire, opening up to some other aspects of the extracurriculars here at Centennial. Gabby Lawrence had taken a ball all the way down to the baseline and tried to pull back for a center shot, and it actually goes up and over and lands on the top of the goalkeep. So the Trojans will have a free kick and are putting the ball back into play. And McKenna Hilton steps up and draws a foul at about the 35th yard, maybe 35, 40 yards outside of the goalkeep out of the box here. And she'll be the one, McKenna Hilton will be the one stepping up. The junior defender will be stepping up to take this free kick for the Jaguars. She puts the ball into play. It's a low shot. Kerrigan Miller for a second, but she sends it out and tries to connect up with Hilton again to retake that shot, but the Trojans step up and defend well. Emily Conger with a touch, gets possession. Kerrigan Miller with a nice little piece of footwork on the far side. A little give and go between her and Addison Fair is stopped by one of the Trojan defenders, but it was a nice side. Miller on the near side. Throwing for the Jaguars. A.V. Boyle with the throw in. She connects up with Addison Fair. Addison Fair tries to take the ball back to Kerrigan Miller, but Kerrigan Miller was moving the different way at the time and was not able to get a foot on that ball and control it. Throwing for the Trojans. Kerrigan Miller with the foul on number 2 of the Trojans. Ava Garcia will draw the foul, and it'll be a free kick for the Trojans. Right at midfield, number 13. Alex Held steps up to take the ball. She sends it in to Yining Xiao. Yining Xiao's not be able to control the ball, and she sends it right up to Addison Fair, and Addison Fair tries to connect up with Katie Compton on the far side, but the Trojan defender steps right up and is able to get control of that ball. Emily Conger does a nice job of defending and ends up actually sitting on the ball for a second, but is able to get up and get control of the ball. But possession's gained by the Trojans. And Emma Potoff has some control here. She moves down the field. She goes down on some little bit of contact as she tries to take a shot in the center of the field, but the referee has no indication of wanting to call anything at all. So they indicate to play on. So Bergen steps up to take the free kick. She decides to pick the ball up and take it. No, she hasn't made a decision yet. She's bounced the ball. So the referee coming over to the near side here and wants to get a explanation from the center ref on the call as one of the players. Emma Pothoff goes down just outside of the box as she was trying to attack, and David Rosenthal wants an explanation, and the center ref stops the match in order to come over and give him a stern talking to, as obviously the Trojan coach is frustrated with that missed call. Kerrigan Miller with a touch and tries to send it off for one of the Trojan defenders, and off of the Trojans, out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Jaguars.
Entering the game for the Jaguars, number 14, Madeline Strive.
Got number 14, Madeline Stribe, coming into the game as a sophomore defender. Her first entrance into the game. She replaces, I think, McKenna Fair. Got Cash joining us here now as well.
Hopefully everybody's enjoying the stream.
Addison Fair attacking on the far side. She's trying to get the ball off of the Trojan defender. Trojans bringing it up the field. Pothoff with some nice touches, trying to get freed up here again, but the Jaguar defense is just surrounds the passer there and goes right back into Emily Conger.
The first helping out here, Bound, Iowa. Looks like Prairie is still down to Bettendorf. End of the first still. Bettendorf up 6-0.
Yeah, I know that Bettendorf game's got to be well into the second half. I think they're about 10 minutes behind where we were at, so they got to be well into the second half. So must not be getting some updates on the score yet, but guessing that game is still 6-0, or if not more than that at this point.
Entering the game for the Jaguars, number 10, Olivia Kroska.
Olivia Kroska back into the game. Substitutions in today's game are brought to you by Dr. Stacy Munger at the Cruel Heart of Ankeny Animal Hospital. She'll be replacing Alana Pennington. She'll be exiting the game. Just 11 minutes left to go here in the game. 69th minute of the game. It's 3-0 for the Jaguars. Jaguars threatening again on the far side. Looks like it's going to be a free kick for the Trojans after the ball goes out of bounds. Handball right outside of the box by the Trojans. It'll be a free kick in a pretty dangerous spot for the Jaguars. I'll be interested to see who steps up and takes this free kick. Looks like Compton, Katie Compton will be stepping up to take the ball. They're asking to get that three-person wall by the Trojans to move a little bit further back as they set up, or even a four-person wall maybe. Catch that, 4-person or 3 people in that wall? I can't tell. It's 3 people, I believe.
Yeah, it's a 3-person wall.
Compton steps up right around the wall, and the goal keeps in exactly the right spot. Heineck with the save. Great save.
Most definitely want to give a little credit to her, especially because how hard she's been working. She's given up 3 there, but she's still working hard and not giving up on her team or anything like that.
Yeah, freshman goalkeeper for the Trojans. Good to see her out there and getting some great experience for the state's sub-state game here for the Trojans. Be great to have her experience back. A pretty young team overall for the Iowa City West Trojans. Down 3-0 here to the Jaguars.
A score update here on the Class 3 Region 2 semifinal. Valley Tigers beat Sioux City North 10-0.
Ball goes out of bounds deep in Jaguar defensive territory here. It'll be a throw-in for the Trojans as one of their deepest forays into the Jaguar defensive line for most of the second half here, other than 2 little shots on goal from Yuning Xiao here about 10-15 minutes ago. Throw-in for the Trojans. They're not able to control it. Kerrigan Miller steps up and tries to send a ball to connect up with Addison Fair. Looks like she's trying to get to some open space for Katie Compton, is not able to do so.
I mean, we have to give the Trojans and Jets be recognized for how hard they're still working down by 3, but still working their butts off to hopefully try and come back.
Lewis and Compton try to connect up on the far side. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be thrown for the Trojans, taken immediately by the Trojans, and Avery Lewis heads that ball back out of bounds again. It'll be another throw-in for the Trojans. Looks like Porter and Hilton will be looking to get back into the game for this last 8 minutes with a 3-0 lead by the Jaguars. Addison Fair, a nice little ball that gets out to her. She's going to be running a 50-50 with one of the defenders. Looks like she beats that defender. Addison Fair with a shot, and it's a score! Addison Fair, 4th goal of the game for the Jaguars, her first of the game. Addison Fair with a score. He's setting up a match with the Bettendorf Bulldogs later in the week. Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire, will be bringing it to you in its entirety.
Jaguar goal was good by number 22, Addison Fair.
Yeah, Vera Tanos and
Entering the game before
Addison Fair just really battled as they went down the field there, trying to get possession of that ball in a good position, and Addison was able to get the last touch on that to get an open spot there, and was able to put the ball away for the Jaguars for their 4th goal of the game. But a good battle between both the Jaguar and Trojan as they moved down the field. It was about 10 seconds that they just ran side by side, moving down. Trojans string together a few passes. They get it inside the box, but then the Jaguars shut the door on it and send the ball out to midfield. But then Trojans get possession again in midfield, and the ball's kind of bouncing around here. It goes off of the head of one of the Jaguar defenders. A nice shot from number 10, Emma Pothoff. She's had a few shots here in the second half, but Bergen in the perfect position to be able to snatch that one out of the air and get the ball out of danger as they move all the way back down the field.
Beautiful catch by Bergen. I mean, all year long, you can tell she's been working her tail off on the field and off, and practices and games and everything. She's always prepared for any shot.
Yeah, got some mass substitutions here for the Trojans. Number 12, Lana Goska. Got number 16, Ellie Chen. Number 23, Maddie Goiter. We got one more in there that I missed. It looks like Diana Tevinskaya just entered the game as well. So some little hockey substitution there for the Trojans. Avery Porter with a nice little break here, going down into the box here, is able to, going to be a corner kick for the Jaguars. Porter drew the corner kick. She got into some free space and took it off the feet of the Trojan defender as they went out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Jaguars. Avery Lewis setting up on the far side to take that corner kick.
Coming up by number 4, Avery Lewis.
Corner kicks are brought to you by Iowa Rush Soccer Club. Check out all their events going on right now at iowarush.com. Goalkeeper staying on her line at the back, doesn't come out and get that one, and the ball sent down the back of the pitch. It'll be a free kick for the Trojans.
West 40 Market in Uptown Ankeny is your place to shop for the best meats, steaks, brats, jerky, and everything in between. Let us be your one-stop shop for all your favorite cuts, all raised on local Iowa farms. Shopping local never tasted so good.
Back to you guys here again this Thursday at 7 o'clock once again. We look forward to having that game unless we have a catastrophe on our hands here with a 4-0 lead with that 5 minutes left to go. Look forward to getting the sub-state final for District 8 here at Ankeny Centennial Stadium. Be another corner kick for the Jaguars. Those are brought to you by Iowa Rush at iowarush.com. Be sure to stop over at Cabaret after the game to get some refreshments. I'm sure we'll be able to see Mr. Pollock over there after the game. Cash, are you going?
I don't know, I might.
You're probably not old enough. Maybe a little bit, right? Of a far side defender or offensive player goes into the goal. It's going to be number 5 for the Jaguars. I'm trying to see who got that one. Trying to see who they're going to give that goal to. It may have been Evie Boyle maybe getting in on the action on the far post to get the 5th goal of the game for the Jaguars, but we'll be interested to see who they're going to give that one to.
That'd be amazing if Evie got it, a freshman. That'd be pretty crazy here.
Just a massive humanity in there inside that box, and it was a...
The game for the Jaguars, number 13, Piper Zeman.
Piper Zeman into the game. I thought that's who they were giving the goal to for a second. I was like, she just came in. I was like, not going to give that goal to her. Yeah, I'll be interested to see who that goal is credited to. Maybe we can get a connection up with one of the parents here and see if they saw who that goal is going to. I think it was Evie Boyle, but I wouldn't necessarily give it to her yet because I don't know who it was. So we were trying to figure it out with the PA announcers over here, trying to connect up with us as well here and see if we can figure out who got that score. But we'll see if we can get down to some of the parents here and Emery Becker on the score. Okay, Emery Becker on the score. So that's our first of the game, number 12. Sounds like we're going to give credit to Emery Becker on that one.
By number 12, Emery Becker.
Crowd's clapping, so it must be the right person getting the score, because otherwise we'd be getting jeers and stares from the fans below on who got that score. Just a little bit over 2 minutes left to go here. 5-0 score for the Jaguars in this sub-state semifinal. They've been well in control of the game from the get-go. The Jaguars are holding the ball in the backfield right now with the defensive backfield, forcing the Trojans to step up and opening up the field a little bit. Got Boyle over to Balashitis. Balashitis taking the ball up, sends it out to the outside to Avery Lewis. Avery Lewis is going to look to connect with Gabby Lawrence on the far side. Gabby Lawrence is looking across, trying to make sure she stays on side, and she does so. Or is that McKenna Hilton out there now? McKenna Hilton looks like, yeah. Yeah, it looks like Hilton's changed positions a little bit. She's been defending for most of the game, and they've got her pushing up on the far side, attacking midfielder.
Nice save from the freshman for Iowa City West.
Ball sent in. IGHSAU trying to get connected up here on the end of it. Number 12 is going to step up, Anna Goska. But the Jaguars are able to defend that nicely. Avery Lewis connects up with Avery Porter, who's stepping up into the center forward position for the Jaguars at this point of the game. Piper Zeman on the near side here is trying to call out for the ball. She does get the ball from Porter. A couple touches here. She sends it back to number 14, Madeline Stribe, as she sends it back up to Porter. Porter with a one touch up to Emily Conger. Emily Conger centers it back into the middle, tries to get a corner or a center off, and does so, and goes off of a defender. Piper Zeman with a few touches as it cycled back out to the defending grouping here for the Jaguars. About 40 seconds left to go here at the end of the match. $5-0 lead for the Jaguars off of scores by Alana Pennington, Avery Lewis, another one from Pennington, Addison Fair, and then the last one by Emery Becker, her first of the game for a 5-0 lead. 5-0, almost a win here for the Jaguars with just a little bit over 10 seconds left to go here in the match.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Long shot taken by Madison McKenna Hilton here as the game horn sounds. Sub-state final for Region 8. We'll be back to rack up the game here on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire in just a few minutes. We'll hear a few words from our sponsors and give a wrap up to the game, and looking forward to the games coming up for Thursday's game. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing.
So when an athlete walks into Nick Jarash Fitness, the one thing we want them to know is that this is a phenomenal community. We have the best coaching, we have the best technology, we have the programming that can help them succeed. So whether it's trying to get on JV for the first time, going to that next level on varsity, going from a second string to an all-state player, we have the tools, we have the programming and the coaching in order to take each individual to their next level.
Welcome back to the post-game show, where tonight the Centennial Jaguars beat the Iowa City West Trojans 5-0. It's time to look at our stats, brought to you by Iowa's premier indoor youth sports facility, opening soon right here in Ankeny. Visit prairietrailssc.com to learn more about the field house at its Prairie Trail Sports Complex. So I was looking over the stats tonight. Once again, we have 2 scores from Atlanta Pennington, a score from Avery Lewis, one from Addison Fair, and a late one by Emery Becker off of the corner kick. So a great game. We'll give the Lamberti Goki and Lucci player of the game to Alana Pennington with her 2 goals. As we finish up the sub-state regional semifinals here, we're going to be looking forward to our next game. Once again, Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. We'll be back to you Thursday. It looks like we have a final on that Bettendorf game at all. Cash, why don't you check that while we're finishing up here? But we want to appreciate everybody for watching tonight. Again, the final score was 5-0. Our next production will be Thursday. I think it's going to be the Bettendorf Bulldogs on Centennial Digital, driven by Freedom Tire. That'll be at 7 o'clock on Thursday. If you can't make it, if you can make it, we'll see you there. And if you can't, as always, you can catch all the home games right here on the Central Iowa Sports Network YouTube channel. This is Austin Oliver. I'm here with Cash Van Bully with production and some of the announcing here tonight. Good night, everyone. It's time to head to Cabaret.
Soccer coverage on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, All-Star Concrete, Lincoln Savings Bank, member FDIC, Fiscus Jewelers, The Zoom Room Dog Training, Nick Jarash Fitness, Knockerball 118, Wendy Thompson, an affiliate of Humble Travel, and Reed Plumbing. Jaguar Soccer on Centennial Digital is driven by Freedom Tire and brought to you by these generous local businesses. Lamberti Goki Lucci Law, Weichert Realtors, the 515 Agency, 72 Degrees, your comfort company, Sinorama Ankeny, West 40 Market, Rainbow of the Heartland, Prairie Trail Sports Complex, Hearts of Ankeny Animal Hospital, the Ankeny Real Estate Group,